Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Should be good. Looks like everything's booting on up. Give me one turn on the live chat windows. Oh yeah, I need my macros. But I'm running a little bit late today. The microphone's on, right? Yep. That's one thing I always forget sometimes. Whoops, that is GIMP for making thumbnails, not live chat Windows software. And I think everything is good to go. So let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side is a Silver Claw Hog. We got temp name 251020. Not sure what that's a reference to, but the day. Maybe it's referencing to, let's see, foreigners always make their month, day, year weird, so it could be 2025, October 20th? Maybe? I know October 20th is my birthday. But either way. And spawn north side as the Umbra Wild Sensei. We got Math Joss. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But when's the last time I cast Sensei? Have I ever cast Sensei? Because he's usually the top tier COs that don't get played because they're overpowered. So this might be the first time I ever cast Sensei. This map is a Hype Funds map. It is a naval map. Let's see, airports. How many airports? Wait. Okay, there is a pair of airports. And Sensei's battlecopters, of course, increase by... Copters get plus 50% increased attack. Foot soldiers get plus 40% attack, which is higher than even Simon's just plus 20 or plus 30? Plus 30. But all other non-8-year units lose 10% firepower and transport plus 1 movement. So he's just straight up better Sami. Or on the lack of capture rate. And the superpower course is still pretty overpowered as ever. So let's get started. Yeah, when's the last time have I ever cast Sensei before? I don't think I have. Because I only cast the live games or the most games on global, sometimes on live games on list, but never really the custom games. I think this is not a custom game, because I'm pretty sure I just only grab games. I favorite games that are from the global league in order to keep track of them, and this one, maybe Sensei's not a banned CO in top tier on high funds. I'm not sure actually. We do have an early Neo tank, which I always forget the fact that this high fund, so funds coming quite quickly. Lander's already, of course, on the field, so there's already a Neo tank on Hawk's side of the map. He's going to need to get out counter to it really soon. Probably his own Neo tank. His Neo tanks have plus 10% firepower versus minus 10% firepower. And so we do have 2 comm towers. Comm towers here. Both players will have up to 2 they can secure. Recon does hit that seaport, which is a landlocked or shore locked. But a battleship right there won't be half bad. Don't know if sending a recon in like that hit the already captured infantry would be great. Oh! 3 defense doors, minus 10% firepower. Wait, did the comm tower get captured first? Does he got the recon there? I'm checking my stream has a delay. He did capture that before attacking, so that was with the comm tower. You have a mega tank on the field. But of course, the mega tank is slow, but it is a hard counter to the Neo tank. Battle copter deployed in the field. You have a mega tank up here as well. This map is large, plus I had to shrink it down quite a bit, so everything's a little bit small on me. I wonder if he's going to go either for more copter commands or airborne assaults. This does, of course, increase the firepower of copters from 40% to 65%, both of the tiers, but instead you get either undeployed infantry or undeployed mechs. Statistically, the copter command's better because mechs are nice and all, but mass mechs is actually not super fantastic, just good. While mass infantry is just very nice to have because you have a tidal wave of them, and 2 command stars, or 2 stars, is dirt cheap to say the least. If Sensei keeps the Neo tank next to the city, it would lure the Mega tank in, but also give it 3 defense stars for when the Mega tank comes on in. Hawk's Mega tank is out of range by 1 tile. Decides to push forward and sits on top of the city. If he gets damaged, could help him out to pop Black Wave to even out the fight between the 2. Medium tank and rare tank here. Got a medium tank and Neo tank up there. Hawk has his own battle copter, of course. Got an artillery, anti-air. I don't know what the other. Oh, battleship. That's what I heard. Of course, there's also a base here. I wonder if this battleship can lock down anything important like this base here. The battleships could be very useful, and Hawks, of course, get plus 10% firepower as opposed to minus 10% firepower. If there's more and more ships in the field, submarines may be more deployed in the field. We do now have a rocket deployed in the field, battlecopter, infantry, tank. Does go ahead and block the Neo tank from advancing. Battlecopter gets a nice shot, a follow-up shot there. Battlecopter here, medium tank on top of there. Medium tank is out of range of the Neo tank. That bit of blue sea causes a bit of issue of movement. Shoots the infantry unit there, and does protect the infantry unit to capture that property. Both players have 46,000 income at the moment. And we do have a submarine here, of course, in Advanced Wars by Web. Basically, any Advanced Wars is not Days of Ruin based. It does get deployed unsubmerged, while Days of Ruin does start deployed submerged. Giving submarines quite a bit of firepower bonus, or quite a bit more usefulness. Because then you have to see your opponent not spend a lot of money and realize, oh, there's a submarine somewhere. Which you can make educated guesses, but just keep an eye on the deployment. Of course, it's Fog of War. It is ready to hunt immediately. Good number of captures there. Does sink to the not the bottom of the ocean, just somewhere in the middle of the ocean. Also known as a very wet desert, the ocean. Black boat here is almost out of fuel, emptying fuel. Do you have a fighter here? Will Hawk go for his own submarine or go for a cruiser against the submarine? Cruiser's probably a better option since he doesn't have to fight against any other naval asset and of course provide the anti-air capabilities. Does show the battleship there. He knows the submarine did sink there, but he also knows it's out of range. The reefs there slows down a little bit, but even then, if it wasn't there, it would not be in range. You would now have a copter command available. I wonder if you go for it. Gotta make sure you vacate all your cities. Which reminds me, just give me one moment. Unit count for the unit limit is 65, which does matter when it comes to Sensei and, of course, Hachi. We do have now a Hawk submarine. Battlecopter does strike the Neotank for a bit of damage. Fighter also deployed in the field by Hawk. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry, and something else infantry. Yeah, with this larger map and shrunken down stuff, it's a little bit difficult to track everything. Submarine is advancing, does put a black boat's in the way. Of course, we do have this black boat, so he is driving towards the black boat, not black boat, submarine. Oh, does pop the copter command. Goes from 38 units, 254 to 268 and 53 units. Now there's going to be a lot of fodder in the field. Another submarine. Does take out the tank. Shoots up the artillery. If you can clear out this infantry unit there, then the Neotank can be struck by the medium tank. Artillery can strike the Neotank before that point. Battlecopter, infantry, and was that another submarine? Nope, so there's two. It was this mega tank there. Fighter shoots down the battlecopter. Got a bit of artillery line here. Aircraft carrier deployed in field. Only high funds naval maps you ever see aircraft carriers. Of course, aircraft carriers do have good coverage, up to 8 range, which is quite staggering. Rocket infantry, another infantry, and of course aircraft carrier. Hawk does have the black wave available. Could turn all the 9 health infantry to 8 health infantry. Sinks the black boat. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Easy one shot due to Sensei's increased firepower. And of course, he has another power available, which will max out his unit count. I did see it join some infantry unit there, so if you sack the infantry unit there, he is going to pop his copter command this turn. Up to 64 units. He will need to join up probably a little bit more. Does take out one of those units down south. Because right now you can only deploy out one more unit on the map. Neotank does strike the anti-air, which the rocket could strike it, but it'll be a base lock onto himself. And he can't really afford that because the unit count is massive, to say the least. Value-wise, Hawk is actually ever slightly ahead with his next day-to-day income, and he's player 2, of course. Not to mention, his superpower is ready to go. Yeah, with this superpower, this Neotank can be struck down to 6 health, and Neotank can take out the Neotank, so yeah, he does not need to use a rocket for that engagement. Not sure what deleted there. Rocket ain't here, I think, or fighter. Takes out the battlecopter of the aircraft carrier. Black Storm. Bombs the infantry unit there. Supplies, strikes the black boat, does not knock it out. Not black boat, submarine. I have never said the word submarine so often. Even though the high funds games, even naval maps, you don't really see submarines too often. A lot of outlying infantry going down, but not enough. Right now, Hawks end his turn 333 versus 280. Of course, there's a lot of data repairs at that point. This turn, you can only afford a single bomber. What a poor man. You gotta save up for your retirement, man. Megatank does not engage Megatank. This Megatank is almost surrounded. Anti-air does strike the fighter. Now think about it, it's probably a bad idea to go for too many Megatanks against Sensei. They have a target-rich environment in front of them, to say the least. Both players have 50,000 income with 25 properties captured. Both players need to capture 10 properties in order to get a capture victory. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry, and anti-air. Megatank just falls back, not a bad idea. Strikes the battlecopter, rocket rotates around, bomber nukes the anti-air, infantry hits, or anti-air hits infantry, hits the regular tank there, battlecopter chokes up that front there, so now this Megatank will have trouble pushing forward. Still probably a good idea to try to machine gun the battlecopter. 3 health. Would take a bit of time to catch the comm tower, but that would be a great thing to capture. 3 comm towers will really help him try and clean up these infantry, to say the least. Fighter does strike the bomber, one-shotting it. Now I'm wondering, what's the damage rate of a fighter? I'm used to Days of Ruin bombers since they're far more common. Okay, that is an easy one-shot of 2 comm towers, even at 9 health. Yeah, in Days of Ruin, the bomber would actually be down to at least 1 or 2 health. Granted, that's with no comm towers and all that sort. A submarine does spot the submarine, so I'm thinking the submarine's going to be sunk to the bottom of the sea. Neotank strikes the lander, battlecopter strikes the lander, knocking it out. Hits the anti-air, fighter hits fighter, 5 health fighter. We do now have a full airborne assault. That is one way to generate income because mechs are 3 times more valuable. But to be fair, 3 copter commands can do that same effect. 3 times the cost for 3 times the value, at least in the infantry deployment wise. It's still probably better to just go for multiple copter commands with the battlecopter bonuses. Recon, black boat, anti-air, and medium tank. Will we see a airborne assault? You have to clear out all the properties before that point, whether it be copter command or airborne assault. Fighter does strike the battlecopter. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Neo-tank struck on the mega-tank, giving him power charge. He does take off some units there. He's clearing out the cities, I believe. He's joining units together, so he's eyeing for A power. Does go for the full airborne assault. So now he's up to 65 units. So I wonder if he actually did not get any deployments. But it looks like all the cities are not free. Submarine does hit submarine. At this one time, I think Hawk needs to get out Cruiser. I think Cruiser would have been a little bit more effective. You also have the capability to shoot down aircraft. Black Boat can repair this submarine, and then the Black Storm can not only weaken the submarine, but also repair out this submarine seer. So the Black Storm would be very useful to health regeneration mechanics. Since it did capture a couple more properties, bomber, lander, artillery, deletes something anti-air, and commits a base skip. Black Storm immediately. Black Boat can get that repair going. Right now the submarines are equal health. That was the aircraft carrier. Battleship sinks the Black Boat, takes out the mech, takes on the infantry there. Resupplies the tank, not the submarine. Resupplies the submarine. So it did not double resupply the submarine. It did move it back slightly. Bomber does strike the Megatank. Neotank strikes the Megatank. No power charge for either player. Submarine, battlecopter, infantry, and recon. A lot of daily repairs. Hawk is still ahead in value, but behind in unit count, which I think people say unit count's more important than value in the field, but I just don't know how to judge and how to hype on this game, honestly. Yeah, it does in terms of 349,000 versus 292. Flips another property. Fighter does hit bomber, and then anti-aircraft hits bomber. Battlecopter, infantry, and artillery. Strikes that was with the battleship. Does hit the rock in the back line. Copter commands available. Artillery in range of the rocket. So if the rocket takes a shot against either of those medium tanks, it will be shelled by an artillery piece. So the rocket mates need to shoot the artillery piece. Submerges a submarine. Resupplies the submarine, leaving the submarine down to 1 health. Takes out the couple units there. Hawk has free reign to clean everything up in this region. This area is so just filled with infantry in there, so the mechanics might have trouble pushing forward. Yep. But this game could honestly still go either way. Hawk's global damage and health recovery have been both very useful, to say the least. Sacks infantry units there that hit the medium tank. He has another airborne assault available. Bombs the medium tank. Hawk has almost another Black Storm available, so he's likely going to be able to deploy out next turn. Did actually throw a tank into this medium tank? Okay. Does launch another superpower. Did not get every city with max, just got good enough. Because I see artillery on this, there. A lot of ambush spawn of mechs. It might be very difficult to play around the ambush spawn of mechs. Does sack a submarine, because he's at over cap. Does send a submarine shot into the submarine. This full health submarine can get a good shot there. Black Storm can help recover this 1 health to a 3 health submarine, not to mention all the black boats. The submarine can be taken out next turn. Bomber will get shot down by the aircraft carrier. Battleship ain't here. Looks like it feels like Hawk is starting to win the naval war. Hawk does have a fighter here. And it's turned for 346,000 and will become a versus 257. 269 to 270, so they evened out, so Hawk has his full day-to-day funding advantage, so he's 1 turn advantage. Not to mention he still has his whole turn. Decide to split his damage. Let's take out the submarine there. It did have a couple or a defense star. Notice the one Reefs had 2 defense stars. Maybe that was just Advanced Wars 2 that had Reefs at 2 defense stars. Because right now it just says 1. To be fair, reefs are actually a horrible place to be in when it comes to naval ships. That's a great way to run aground and damage your hull. So honestly, the idea of having reefs as a defense land part on water, it makes absolutely no sense unless it's involving versus submarines, probably. So you probably have to talk to a sailor or a naval specialist, an actual real life one, saying, hey, how does parking on top of reefs sound when it comes to your ships? Mega tank battlecopter in infantry with another recon. Another submarine. Whoops, sorry, hit my microphone pretty hard there. Battlecopter, double, triple infantry. A lot of native repairs when getting hit by Black Storm. Value-wise, Hawk still has the advantage. Unit count is completely opposite the idea. Since it does have more income, it's a mech up there. Battlecopter, infantry, mega tank, and infantry. Let's just go and try to break through this area of heavy armor. Battleship and bomber on this island here, though. Mech does take a recon. With the extra firepower, the mechs can just destroy the... Oh, lose a bunch of stuff into the mega tank. Still has 3 ammo remaining. Mega tank does hit a mega tank. Another copter commands available. Does sink the submarine. It's almost like that's what's meant for. Aircraft carrier. Submarine is not in range of submarine. Anti-air black boat. Shells that tank there. Black boat is down 7 fuel, so it's getting pretty low. Submarine does strike the battleship, reveals, of course, submarine, but of course you saw it sunk there. Battlecopter strafes the aircraft carrier, so that's going to be an armored leg to repair. Luckily, since it can summon multiple arms and legs, tank another battleship. And it's 356 versus 298. A lot of good hits there, but that of course allow Hawk Black Storm, which is probably just does more damage, recover more value than Copter Command. Oh, does pop the power. Needed some cannon fodder. Another mega tank. Another fighter. Superpower now activated, which does go from 340 to 307. Nope. Hopefully that didn't break anything. You didn't actually get any health recovery from that. So that may be what the error message is from. I think I may be breaking the replay. 340. Yep, I may have broke the replay. Just give me one moment. Turn 22 on Hawk's turn. There we go. 320 to 261, so pretty good calling there against Sensei. Sorry, that replay really broke, so I had to refresh it. Starting to capture these central properties. And now, of course, you still have a seaport here to build submarines, but capturing up this comm tower is very important, to say the least. But I think Hawk is starting to get a firm grasp of the game, though he does have less income, but more value in the field, so I don't know who's actually winning right now. Mega tank here is out of ammo. We do have now another battlecopter, infantry, artillery, medium tank. And it's 347 versus 265. He's going to drain the ammo of the mega tank. Mega tank's out of ammo. Medium tank take a relative shot. Its machine gun's still somewhat effective. Basically an autocannon. Throwing some units together. Pops the power. You could try. Well, the mega tank is out of ammo. It doesn't have the low ammo indication. I think the replay is really starting to break. Medium tank does take a shot there, does take a point in return. Does sack the mech on the anti-air. Hawk's not getting any power charge since the superpower is technically active. Submarine does get a good shot on the battleship. Hawk does not have any counter submarine units on the field. Nope, there's one way up here, which is spotted by this infantry unit there. Does shell this infantry to capture the counter, and there is no way for this 9 health infantry to gauge it, so it's hard to place some of those units. So it might be a good idea for the battleship to shell this infantry and then the infantry unit finish it off. Yep, that's in range. Infantry. Medium tank strikes anti-air. Does take out some of those units there. Battlecopters does strike the Neo tank twice. Yep, definitely a fun game. And it's hard for me to keep track of everything, seeing how big the map is. Does shell the battleship. This infantry here is no longer there. It is loaded up in this black boat, looks like. Tank, battlecopter, artillery, and anti-air. Another copter commands available. Ends from 331 versus 263. Mega tank still here with no ammo. Takes out the regular tank there. Oh, and the 1 health battleship does get trapped in the submarine. Is that a good thing? It's 1 health battleship, so it's not too particularly great. He sunk his battleship. Sorry, gotta just make that reference. Throw some units into the mega tank. Pops another copter command. Shells the mega tank. Bombs the mega tank. Mega tank just killed off, what was it, 5 or 6 shots? Hectice hit to take up the mega tank. Battleship deployed on the field. I think this fighter is in range of the aircraft carrier, which should use to take out battlecopter, right? So that was not a good trade. Black Wave's available. Black Storm almost resupplies submarine. While it was low on fuel. This black boat got resupply. It was low on fuel. Fighter gets shot down. It was not low on fuel. Does hit the mech there. Anti-air hits infantry. Does not finish off. Thinks extra defense from power. Black Wave. Black Wave gets summoned, strafes the mega tank, and decides to surrender there. Yeah, the game was largely just going stalemate pace. I have no idea if Hawk could have won the fight, but against Sensei, that's just it's just probably not fun against Sensei, even if you do win. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started on next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Back. Let's see now. Boop. Oh yeah, I think I want to do this one next because it's Javier versus Von Bolt, and I always like casting Javier. He's a fun CO. Let me first increase the size of this. Let's see, I think I had at this size beforehand. And there we go. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the south side is a Jade Sun Von Bolt. We got A7. Small on top left side is the blue Cobalt Ice Javier. We got other Berry 77. This map is a 3-base map, one airport. It's also a left versus right or top left versus top right with a whole lot of no man's land in the center. A lot of grassland, from the forest and the grassland, so it's very slow moving to get on out. Anything barring infantry. Tanks, of course, be slowed down by at least 2. Recon, oof, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I suppose they can still somewhat escape, and there's a lot of tiles to blitz around with. But slow getting out, and then fast in the center. A weird dynamic there, while tanks just slow, somewhat slow, and then normal. Got a tank on the field, so one tank versus one recon. There is a pair of labs on the map, which means nothing. They're just 3 defense stars with no value provided. Comm tower is safe in the edge of the map. Now, Javier goes for another tank. Von Bolt has gone for 1. Von Bolt has got to be very careful when playing out any sort of indirects. While he does get plus times of firepower and defense on them, Javier gets just plus 20% indirect defense, which is just a very powerful passive, honestly. It denies a lot of your opponent's anti or indirect play. So it sort of denies part of your army. It's sort of like Max, but he denies himself, while Javier denies your opponent. So Max, you know what you're going to. Against Javier, you don't know what you can't get into. Can't just get it. Double tank and recon. Does get trapped there. Plus additional comm tower capture, you get additional defense to help counter out the extra offense. But Von Bolt still has then his extra defense. Tank and infantry. Tank and recon. Does hit the infantry unit twice, 9 its capture. Javier's at 18,000 versus Von Bolt's 21,000. Some probably still despicably neutral, primarily in the center part of the map. Medium tank, double infantry. Early medium tank. Tank does hit tank, tank hits tank. Anti-air artillery and infantry. Anti-air double infantry. Oh, does delete the not gunboat, the cruiser, so the cruiser gets sunk to the bottom of the HQ. Infantry unit does get hit. Tank does hit infantry, hits infantry twice. Number of Von Bolt's infantry is going down. In fact, this entire flank now disintegrated. And there was, what, 5 infantry units there? Medium tank, infantry, and recon. Losing 5 infantry units like that is quite significant. Medium tank hits regular tank. Regular tank hits regular tank. Now Volmbolt will go ahead and reinforce, of course, a pair of tanks and medium tanks, so quite a bit of force there. Do you have a medium tank up north by Javier? It does take out the infantry on top of the HQ. Do now have a tower shield available, which will give him effectively +10/+10, plus activating power, super power will give him additional +10/+10, so +20/+20 for 3 defense stars, or 3 stars. While the super power course will give him +30/+30 in total. So it's better to go, numerically, it's better to go for powers and superpowers, but sometimes you need that extra oomph. And of course, it greatly increases your indirect defense, but right now Volmbo is not deployed about any indirects because he's fighting against Javier. Battlecopter pushing forward. Neo tank double infantry. So have a Volmbo now has 2 battlecopters, a medium tank and Neo tank versus a medium tank. And a bunch of regular tanks. Javier right now has 20,000 income, or 20,000 funds in the bank. He has 23,000 income now. Volmbolt has 22, so leaving 1 property on the map still despicably neutral. Tower of Power is now available. Wait, it's this property that has not been captured. How? I was just trying to go to some of the maps and figure out which city's not been captured, but it's actually this one back here, somehow. Battlecopter, artillery, recon, and infantry. Recon, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Tower shield, the power has now been activated, giving +20/+20. Looks like this flock property will be flipped. Battlecopter, double infantry, and a tank. Something infantry unit there. Battlecopter, tank, double infantry. Tank, double infantry. Does strike the beam tank twice, knocking it out. Oop, finds a recon. Ex Machina fired. We see nothing visible. It is likely right here. So could be right here. None that was visible. I'm pretty sure it struck right here. Does send a tank into the artillery piece. We may see a tower of power just for the extra firepower. It was right there, locking down a lot of heavy assets. Pops a full superpower. Shows the medium tank. Anti-air strikes battlecopter. There may be a scenario where Von Bull can start eyeing to capture the HQ. There's, of course, the force will slow down any reinforcements. Neo tank can take out the regular tank. Battlecopter can take out the regular tank. Full health tank might be able to take out the cruiser. And then infantry can start eyeing to capture it. Neo tank infantry. Does pick up that, or get a good shot into it at least. The extra defense probably being very useful right now. Yeah, the extra defense would mean that cruiser probably wouldn't be going down, even if it was abysmal extra defense. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. sinks the cruiser to the bottom of the HQ. The Neo tank is not on top of 4, so it could be spotted. Join the pair of battlecocks together, get another Neo tank to recon the infantry. This Neo tank is currently not spotted, but could easily be spotted by the recon. Does not take out the anti-air or shell it. Does spot the Neo tank now. Takes out the recon unit there. Nothing start catching up the HQ. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Insert 146 for 114. So Bombo does have about a turn and a half value advantage. It's the battlecopter. Neo tank constructing Neo tank, but it's on top of the city. So if Ex Machina lands, it'll hit both those Neo tanks, but it's very far away from it. Tank, tank, tank. Neo tank decides to fall back to the corner. Not a bad idea. Anti-air infantry, infantry. Neo tank double infantry. Recon, anti-air, and infantry. It's that infantry unit twice and now thrice, but does not go down. Anti-air, double infantry, and a battlecopter. Recon patrol 4, spot stuff. Von has a very good number of battlecopters in this region, to say the least. 4 of them. 1 anti-air, so the Javier forces can easily get overran. Bomber, triple infantry. Takes out the tank. Hits that tank there. Another tower shield's available. It's the recon in range of a Neo tank. The other Neo tank is spotted. Battlecopter stops on the Neo tank. Neo tank will take a shot from the Neo tank from the city. Battlecopter hits recon. May have got itself. Nope, doesn't get itself shot down. His tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. There might be Ex Machina. Could see a Tower of Power next turn. Tank does go down, strikes the infantry unit twice. Takes out the artillery. And the anti-air down the region, these battlecopters are just now charging way forward. Nothing stopped the battlecopters. Neo tank or bombers heading up north. No Ex Machina, double infantry or triple infantry and bomber. Tower power or tower shield. Tower shield or tower of power. Getting all the words mixed up. Neo tank hits Neo tank, Neo tank hits Neo tank, regular tank hits Neo tank. Hits the tank there, hits the medium tank there with the Neo tank. The extra defense would be hard to crack that Neo tank, even for the battlecopters. Neo tank deployed in the field. Infantry, infantry. Fighter heading down south, away from the bombers. Ex Machina has been casted, but looks like strike the Neo tank, battlecopter, and fighter along with the infantry unit there. Nope, it struck the recon. It's the battlecopter there. Try to machine gun the Neo tank unsuccessfully. Anti-air some of the region. Bomber is not revealed, I believe, though there's recon nearby. Battlecopters ruffling about. And with that Ex Machina hitting that fighter, its counterattack is delayed. And we do have an anti-air is still existing in this region. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Vulnerable ends its turn of 165,000 for 737, so has a slight advantage still. Javier does have 2,000 more income though. Does hit these units there. Bomber strikes railroad tank. Does not know about the anti-air. One, it's on vision range. Two, in the forest. Does surround the bomber there, which he should have enough firepower to take out one of the infantry units there, so the anti-air can strike the bomber. Oh, recon does get trapped. I suppose that's fine enough. Battlecopter hits Neo Tank. Battlecopter hits Neo Tank twice. Battlecopter hits regular infantry unit there. Battlecopter hits Neo Tank thrice. Tank infantry. We do have the bomber now. This other second bomber is rotating over the left. Fighter could push his way forward, but gotta be careful with this anti-air. Taking out this anti-air, perhaps with the medium tank would be a good idea. Fighter does not take out that battlecopter. Maybe I'm going to hit the 8 health battlecopter so the medium can strike the anti-air. And having that anti-air remain alive near this fighter is not a good idea. That may be a game-losing move, not taking out this fighter. Because the battlecopter is still ruffling about quite severely. And now with the reinforced bomber for our chaos division, caused some issues there. Oh. And Javier does resign there, maybe realize he made a bad call there. And the anti-air did not strike the bomber here either. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see. Could do that in this map. I think I have some other ones that I would like also look to do. Give me a moment. Not this one. Where are the longer replays I had stored up? Sorry, give me a moment. I had some other replays I wanted to eye, but I'm having trouble finding my list, which I probably need to clean up right now. I'll just go through my following list then. Here we go. This one. Okay, it was on down the bottom. Oops. Either way, please give a moment to adjust the replay. And that seems pretty good. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn top left side as the Jade Sun Adder. We got Gray Fox, who's not in gray. He's in Jade, which is also not as green as Jade. But either way, spawn on bottom right side as a Blue Moon Jake. We got Matagi, so butcher his name well enough. When it comes to this map, of course, it is a 2-base map, 1 pair of airports, so 2 base, which means just to be more battlecopters. Income's relatively higher as well, so definitely going to be a good number of battlecopters this game. Additionally, one important detail I want to point out is the fact that pipe runners are indeed banned. Why? Because they can both strike aircraft and ground units. I suppose this is technically a 3-base map, but not really. You can go for a missile. Missile can self-spot hit the airport. Pipe Runner will be able to strike both of them. I think he has a vision range of 4, so I think we'll be able to self-spot these units there. I honestly don't know what I never remember what the vision range of a Pipe Runner is. You can either go for artillery shell, this one, which has no self-spotting, or the missile against self-spot, or just recon just to get a lot of spotting. This map does offer some pair of seaports, primarily just to resupply the black boat that does start on top of the lab. The reason why it's a lab rather than not HQ, because you do start with extra property that provides income. So going for a lab, which means it provides no income, rather than HQ. Do of course have a tank and recon for Adder now. Jake only has a tank and a recon. I suppose that's 2 recons for Adder, but my mind's a little bit melted right now. Artillery infantry. They'll strike the infantry unit over there. Tank and infantry. At our next turn, we'll have 11,000 income, so you can go for a battle copter pair of infantry. I have 50-50 chance he will go for that. Battlecopter and pair of infantry. Jake does take out the recon there. 2 capture progress remaining on that city there, so that 2 off tank infantry unit can capture. And I don't think he will adequately interrupt that or stop it. The infantry unit does not have enough spotting for moves right there, and the tank's the only thing that can range it. Actually, no, it can't range it because of forest. So he will capture the property of exact exchange. T-copter infantry and anti-air. T-copter's infantry, I don't know how effective it will be. Maybe he's going to eye for some mech play. Good number of properties got captured. Recon there, spots the T-copter, which I'm not sure how he will respond to that. Probably think, huh, T-copter. Give some information. Don't know how valuable it will be. Guess we'll have to keep an eye on what the T-copter does. Does grab that infantry unit there, and boost a couple infantry units there, and boost the infantry unit there, and resupply it. The arms reach out and gave the infantry unit a high 5. After all, that 3 infantry means 1 infantry unit model was full health, the other one was half health. So clearly the black boat just gives it a high 5. After all, you see the arms there, sort of. That black bar is in the way. Like if it was a Japanese anime. Or not necessarily anime. Battlecopter infantry and anti-air. Let's take out that infantry unit there. Artillery, infantry, and battlecopter. Flipping or capturing some cities here. Jake does have quite a bit of assets here, but so does Adder. He has quadruple tank, 1 battlecopter versus 2 tanks. An artillery piece, which is important for the beatdown with the +1 indirect range. I think beatdown is only going to be useful if you're comboing with the +1 indirect range. Blaine's benefits are situational. It's nice to have, but not of high priority. Mech, tank, and battlecopter. Right now, Adder does not have too much use up north. Does take out the recon there, which can be shelled by the artillery piece. It is in vision range. It's also on top of a plane, so plane's firepower bonuses. Does shell the tank there. Another tank can push forward and spot it. Or take it out. Blah. Don't know what I'm thinking. Of course, quite a big units in reserve here, which is not in vision range. I don't know how much he's seen. Medium tank, battlecopter, and infantry. And the recon does spot it. I don't know if anything spot the recon. Does hit the tank there. Pops the side slip. So +1 movement range, of course, and also the +10/+10. Let's see how well this goes. Hits the E tier, which is quite important, but we've got battlecopters in reserve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Battlecopter is in range of battlecopter, but there's of course a tank and E tier in the way. Another battlecopter there, and that one is in range right now. And next to a planes with firepower bonuses. There's a possible case of a beatdown this turn, but maybe not. Does strike the battlecopter there. Battlecopter hits tank. Tank hits tank. Clear out these units there is not likely. He knew about the anti-air this entire time, so he's going to push multiple battlecopters in range. It does neuter the anti-air while at it. Battlecopter, anti-air, and infantry. Instead of 129, it's 106, so it has about a full turn of value advantage. Recon, still reconnaissing. Of course, it is not spotted there. Don't know if he's seen it yet. We do also have now a full block rock available. I just don't know. Out of curiosity, am I stupid? What does the term block rock even supposed to even mean? I might be just being an idiot, but is this something involving rock and roll? But is this supposed to be some sort of city urbanite term for a city block that's going to get rocked? But then again, he's a plane specialist, so I have no idea. Either way, block rock now deployed in the field. Of course, increasing his plane's firepower bonuses up to 40%. Of course, all his ground vehicles +2 movement range, and of course +1 indirect range. But nothing in range of his singular indirect. Takes out the battlecopter thanks to the extra firepower bonuses. That's the wrong unit. Easy firepower there. Jake's super music fan, so must be a rock and roll. I don't know though. You can see what I'm talking about, right? Granted, it is maybe it's a Japanese version of American rock. I don't know. I mean, only recently apparently Japan realized what American barbecue was. Thanks, not to mention the rest of the world with the World Cup in Texas and Florida. Battlecopter, double tank. Does join the infantry unit together, takes out that infantry unit recon, hits the T-copter. Must be like a rock with a block with your... Rock the block with your music, maybe. Oh, full Sidewinder. +2 movement range. That will allow the E tier to reach the battle cup, so that's probably one reason why he went for the full Sidewinder. Then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I think I missed double counts on that. That's 5, 6. So we need only +1 movement range for that. Neotank's of course out of range of stuff. But he did the Sidewinder to get the double tap on the battlecopters, which might be worth it. It's supercharged super power. Super easily able to recharge the power, so it's not a huge expenditure, but does prevent the 1-2 punch or the second leg of the marathon. Does take up both of those anti-airs. One battlecopter remaining, which could be struck by the battlecopter. You have this anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So you would need another Sidewinder or side slip to range the battlecopter, which could be very easy. 25,000 damage is a number, decent amount. Neo tank can easily get a good chunk of that by hitting the medium tank. Jake did in turn of 116 versus 96. Flipping the city. Both players at 21,000. It's the tank there. Nope. Unable to get the value. Not even close. The battlecraft will get a good planes bonus shot on this Neo tank. Goes back to the medium tank. Does not get another plane shot from there. A plain old shot, if you will. Artillery, battlecopter, and recon. Is the infantry unit there? Missile. He deletes the recon, goes for missile. The missile knows where it's at, for knows where it's not. I guess the amount of battlecopters has been being pulled in the field. He thinks he can get a good missile shot off. Hopefully Jake does not go for 2 missiles. I don't know if you've ever seen the recon as well. Artillery, of course, can't spot it, but it just takes 1 tank. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, if the missile can't see the recon can't see the missile. If he can't see you, you can't see me. That's clearly how that works, right? Medium tank does strike the anti-air. Using that anti-air is actually quite important. Anti-air. That anti-air definitely has a vision of the missile now. Oh no, wait, no. Anti-airs only have 2 vision range, not 3. So the missile will shoot down the battlecopter. Pops the side slip, got the power charge there. Tank hits recon, recon hits recon. Does not see the artillery at the moment. I'm not sure he's aware of it existing. Block rock is available. Which, no, that won't range us 5 tiles away. New tank hits the medium tank, hits the anti-air. Another anti-air deployed in the field. Hits the tank twice. Don't mings it and pull out another battlecopter. Block rock deployed in the field. Anti-air does strike the battlecopter. Does triple tap the Neo tank. Recon hits the infantry there. Artillery strikes the tank. Mech hits the infantry. Hits the recon. Hits the tank there. Bit of a clean sweep up north. It feels like Jake's in a good position. It'd be a good idea to go for artillery this turn. Move to the tile there. Go for tank, and then that tank will spot the missile. Oh, he sees the missile now. Well, the missile has paid for itself. And there goes the missile, giving him also another side slip. Does hit the anti-air, allowing his battlecopter a bit more free reign. We've got another anti-air and battlecopter back here. That turn fell awfully short. Oh. Does hit the recon there, hits the tank, hits the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter. Yes, the missile has paid for itself. Anti-air, it's fine not to go for an artillery piece just yet, as long as you don't go for another battlecopter. Medium tank, recon. Does resupply the battlecopter there. Looks like a bit of a regroup, nothing too crazy. Medium tank artillery. Now the artillery, you just need to go to the city there, then deploy a tank or something spot, like a recon. Feels like both players' unit count's pretty low. And both players pulled back, so there's quite a bit of no man's land. Recon does have a good amount of vision over here. Maybe another recon here would be a good idea, so maybe a good idea to go for a recon, because I think Jake could use stand to get a recon here to help spot. Artillery unit does not move the city, but moves onto this plains for the extra firepower. Now I realize, I was like, first like, oh, city gets resupplied while at it. Firepower bonus. Medium tank. So Jake's going for a healthy number of medium tanks. Both these COs can go for a healthy number of medium tanks. Adder's pretty good with medium tanks since he can just boost their speed up by 1. Effectively giving, honestly, Neo tanks for a turn. The extra firepower and defense just to even out. Neo tanks slightly better in both aspects. But the postal move range makes it sort of even. Artillery does shell the missile. Recon will drive on off. He will need to go for another spotting unit. He doesn't have to go for this turn, because the next turn he can build another spotting unit. Does go for anti-air, which is not a spotting unit, so he needs to make sure to move that off, build a spotting unit there. I mean, as well, he could try draining his opponent's funds. He saw that shot did 7 damage, so you could move this away once again, build another, then wait another turn, get this up to 7 health, and then shell it. Does go for recon. Like I said, he does have option of not shelling it this turn to cause additional financial damage to Adder. Neo tank, and that's what he did. Now Adder has to make a determination. No, he should just let it get shelled this turn, so he can get the power charge. Deleting it won't give him any real advantage. Since deleting it does not provide power charge, what would the game look like if you could delete units for power charge? How would the game change if that happens? A lot, to say the least. Oh, he moved away a unit, but he can still deploy something there to continue spotting. The amount of medium tanks and neo tanks on the field, another recon wouldn't be half bad. Anti-air can't spot. Maybe he's going to try to combo with a beatdown? The extra firepower bonuses lead more power charge? I don't know at this point. Battlecopter, recon, and tank. Tank there, shells the missile, puts down 2 health. Maybe he's just trying... At this point in time, Adder may want to delete the missile, because he may be just trying to farm damage. But of course, it does give Adder farm... No, it's probably not good to farm power charge that way. Another Neo tank. There's an argument to be made to delete the missile this turn. Jake does it in turn of 223 versus 191. Does delete the missile. He just wants to make sure it doesn't pay for any more repairs. Next conflict could be massive. Adder has a mobility, but doesn't have the firepower for a wall break. Jake does have firepower bonuses to help wall break, but of course it does rely on fight from roads. If it was Cole, these bridges probably would just screw him over for an unnecessary reason. I'm in the boat that Cole should get firepower bonuses both on roads and bridges, since bridges are basically roads, fancy roads. Neo tank infantry. Though Adder could go for a recon if he just wants another spotter. Yeah. Adder has to rely to be a bit more aggressive. Not only get Chain of Powers and just Chain of Powers, but other COs just like big engagements. Adder is not a CO who likes big engagements. He likes a bunch of small engagements. Recon, Battlecopter, leaving 9,000 funds in the bank. Right now, Jake there's an argument made that Jake could go for some rockets. Well, Edge is pulling off the map. Pink pushes way forward. Recon spots Neo Tank. I'm going to fast forward a little bit there. Though Jake's getting some engagements. Is this the big conflict? Or no, peace inching way forward. Aggressive inching. Adder should shift to mid? Possibly. Remember, the recon was right here, so the recon spot there was nothing to base, making it safe for the bomber to get deployed on the field. Side slip. So this Adder's going to make his move. A +1 move. Not enough firepower to break through some of these units, but the wounded units are at least able to finish off these units. So Adder wounded units is helpful for this. He got the infantry units there, leading to this medium tank is not spotted. Medium tank does strike regular tank. Battlecopter hits medium tank. Regular tank hits artillery. Block rock is now available. Multiple Neo tanks reserve +2 movement range. Italicize some scoreboards? I don't see either of these text italicize. Am I crazy? Oh, that. I didn't realize I didn't see that. I never made that connection. I will check the extension list. Yeah, I never noticed that there was italicized text there. I know I have a extension for this, which is probably one reason why it's not italicized, but I never made the connection that it was italicized. Huh. I thought... I mean... Now you spoiled the game for me, and I thought Jake was winning the game. Neo tank hits the medium tank. Finished off by the 2 Alpha artillery piece. Very nice. The extra 10% defense being very useful for Adder. Neo tank hits the medium tank. Tank infantry. Don't say that now. Does finish off the artillery. The tank hits the anti-air. It's the Neo tank twice. We do have the side slip available. Tank, infantry, battlecopter, and Adder does resign this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I have time for one last replay for tonight, but now I have, let's see, extension. Where do I have a shortcut for the extensions? Temper Monkey. See, that opens up a tab, right? Italicize. Does that give it? What's the name of the one? Pixel, power bars, power banners, add power bar. Hide buttons, capture the limit, maximize... Dating? I don't even want to know. Some graph, map analyzer. Oh, maximize. Let's see. Do Age of Empires 4. Go. Oh, maximize. That's what he meant by maximize. Nope. Oh, did I just... Oh, max Z. There's an S there. Maximize the usable game area recording element. Install it. I don't know if that doesn't sound right. Let's see. Let me first delete this. And I still italicize. Max. Oh. Oh! So that's how people get this sort of larger vision. I think I need to play... Wait. Oh. It does get rid of it. That's good to know. But I'm probably going to mess around the stream a little bit, so I might need to just... I might need to just worry about that next week. Because right now I have everything sort of tailored to modifying in the... whatchamacallit? The stream, so I may need to do some stuff. Yeah, when it comes to plugins, I just don't know anything or everything. Let's do this one. This is the other replay I want to cast. Because you probably see me doing all this in streams. I'm just in the windows. I have different parts. So yeah, I'll play around with that after this. That probably made it a little bit more handy when setting everything up, because you can see how I'm constantly debating whether or not should I cut off the fuel, ammo, and all that sort, or should I just keep the main screen as big as I can. Good to know. Oh yeah. Maybe with that I could hit F12 and maximize the window. Maximize and Mazamind. Oh god. I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm IT support for... I'm just going to leave it, I'm IT support for somebody big. But some people are really are bad at computers, older folk in general. There's one guy, he was a bit of a problem person, where we had one stupid issue, ticket request from him every single week. My first ticket with him of a troubleshooting issue was he had a screen that was just completely white. Which, okay, simple enough issue. Go up there, help him out. It was an Internet Explorer tab that was in full screen, but it was the home page was blank, so it was just showing a white page because of a blank Internet Explorer tab that was full screen. You can F12 get rid of italicized, but I don't know how. F12 puts the browser... Oh wait, maybe it's... Nope, that's still diagonal. Or italicized. Oh well. I'll worry about that later. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as the Blue Moon Kindle got Zidi. Spawn on the north side as the Orange Star Drake, we got Matakagi. Oh yeah, your response to that story. Sorry, getting distracted. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, It does offer a strong side, weak side mechanic that's very prominent. Pipes seem to slow down both sides. Airport on the weak side, but can easily go over to the east or west. Both players use artillery recon in the corner to spot out some initial stuff. Can easily be displaced by artillery and or mechs. And of course, both players do serve a free black boat. A lot of shores here for traversement, and thanks to the seaport here that can traverse back and forth, as well as gain some resupplies. Don't know what this seaport's useful for, so that's to gives you 2 locations to resupply at. Does go straight for the comm tower though, so we'll secure it up. This map also has a capture limit of 35, so I think that sits around 25 properties per player. So good amount of income. And looks like Kindle's going to lose that comm tower. So we got a comm tower, not Kindle's losing it. Excuse me, Drake's losing it. So Kindle's comm tower and Russia's opponent's comm tower. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Got recons over here to reconnoiter the area. Another tank and infantry. Tank does get spotted, of course. Artillery in range on top of the city, so we'll get a lot of extra firepower bonuses. Not sure if finish off a recon on top of the city, but the infantry unit might be able to finish it off. Not sure. Recons reconnoitering around. Tank double infantry. Does shell the recon. It does finish off there. I am curious. How guaranteed is that? It relies on luck and what fractional damage afterwards. So there's a chance it could go wrong. But the chance is probably lower than what Drake would like. I just got done casting a Jake map. Now I'm going to get words Jake and Drake mixed up. Does hit the infantry unit there. Another tank. Tank, infantry, and recon. It's the infantry unit twice. It's that infantry unit takes out the recon. And Kindle does not have both condoms, she only has one. Oh, talking about Jake's God power, superpower. Now I'm getting all the games mixed up. Now I'm talking about Age of Mythology. Talking about why Jake's superpower is called Block Rock. Of course, I don't know how properly pronounce it, even though English is my first language. I don't know why Block Rock is, some of it is not easy for me to say. I have to slow down and say it. Block Rock. Block Rock. Maybe I'm just over-emphasizing it like Geschutzwagen. Does take out some infantry units in the center. It feels like Drake is going to get some good infantry kills. Both players are 22 units, so they're still pretty even. This recon's still in the area. Pipe scene does get destroyed. Pair of tanks there. So Drake, damn it, could start eyeing for an HQ capture. I wonder, this is a Japanese game more or less. It's Bandai Namco, right? Does Japan have a concept of blocks, like city blocks? Well, these are squares, not blocks, so that doesn't add up. Medium tank, infantry, and mech. Does other countries have a concept of city blocks, or that's more of a US thing? Because the US has more city blocks compared to Europe, because Europe's cities are not very well designed. Because they're designed with old medieval concepts, and retro, and of course updated from medieval cities. While US cities were pretty new, so they took time to actually properly plan everything. Does show the pipe seam there, but not from a city. Clearly should be parked on actually there's no properties nearby to show from that pipe seam or kindle. Showing the pipe seam there as well. Pipe seam destroyed. Now the beam tank is now free to prance around in the streets. You now have Urban Blight available. I think all players always don't properly use Urban Blight. It should be something that would be comboed with the extra Urban Blight damage and not just trying to do global damage. Which you could get a nice boost strike for this 6 health tank to hit this tank here, but there's nothing to finish off this soon to be 1 health tank then. Does pick up the pipe seam there. Tank does hit tank. Tank does hit tank. Tank does not finish off tank. Tank hits recon. It would at least get some damage on the black boat. Black boats are on a bit of cheaper side. Does not pop Urban Blight, which I think is a good idea. If none of our tanks near the city, there could be good recipients to boosted strikes. Mech does the recon. Oh. Tsunami. Tsunami was popped. Interesting. Maybe want to soften up Urban Blight. Maybe Drake just wants to be annoying and just do fuel drain play rather than damage play. Fuel drain play is very annoying, to say the least. Anti-air, and tank. This is also a good map for high society, because right now Kindle would get plus 28 properties, so that would be what? 75 plus 9, so 84% increased firepower globally, which is quite significant. Does pop Urban Blight. Let's see if there's any booster strikes. Boost strike there. Oh! What? I did not one-shot it. I guess with all the accumulation of defense and with the plus 10 plus 10 and the minus 1 damage, did it actually prevent the one-shot? I would assume nearly plus 80% firepower would be an easy one-shot there, but I guess I was mistaken. That picks off the 1% tank. Gets a good retaliation shot there. Interrupts the capture by a turn further. Does get some good hits there. Tank hits tank. Boost strike there, hits that infantry unit there. Tank. Black boat does fall back to seaport. Shells the pipe seam there. Infantry, medium tank, and infantry. Kindle has a slightly higher value advantage, but her unit count is lower. The mech just pulled off that city there, so now another infantry unit will have to make its way there. But this one is pretty far away because that'll be 1, 2... No. Yeah, it'll be... Actually, no, it'll be 1 and 2. So it'll be 2 turns with that pathing. Oh, finds the recon, shoots the recon. For the crime of existing. Boost strike there hits the mech, finish off that tank there, resupplies the infantry unit there to help with the capturing. Infantry, artillery, battlecopter, and tank. Tank, and tank. Right now, Kino does have 2 property advantage, and come 2 properties are still despicably neutral. Of course, the city in the corner and the city right there on that peninsula. A very small peninsula. It's the infantry unit there. Spots a bit of everything. Infantry unit has 10 capture progress remaining. Tank gets on top of the city. I don't think it was spotted, so stealth insertion. Artillery in the back line ready to support it. Rockets. Rocket on the weak side is not a bad idea since you put on a bit more defensive. She could park on this forest or on one of these properties. Both are good options. Probably better on the forest, honestly. If the number of roads and properties is easy traversement for the wheeled type movement, barring this plains there. Takes out the recon, hits the infantry unit there, gets trapped on the tank with a 9 health anti-air. So very good trapping there, and now the artillery's in range of this tank as well, so Kindle's going to have a good turn next turn. Or she can get boost strike from the city onto that tank there, one shot in that tank. It's best to let the artillery shell that, and then the tank hits the anti-air for more value to be gained or lost. The deal. Triple tanks. Pops the Urban Blight, which will of course hit the triple tanks. Get a boost strike on this tank there. Oh, another tank pushed forward, so the artillery will not get the boost, gets the shelling there. Put the artillery next to the 1 health anti-air, revealing it. Battlecopter hits the medium tank hits medium tank. It takes 0 defense stars. It did take a lot of extra damage there. Tsunami is almost available. Or Typhoon, I should say. I always get these names mixed up. Both of them summons English weather by the English sailor. So the funny thing is, my home state of Indiana, oop, there's a superpower there, not only gets more rain than England, but also we get more sunny days, more hotter days, more colder days. We just get more than everything in England and United Kingdom. Tank, anti-air, and tank. Nice bit of global damage. This medium tank is not at 1% health, but might as well be. Shells the medium tank there, pulls back the medium tank to the city. Rocket advancing, wounded, not in the force either. So it could be spotted. Black belt's in front of it, so maybe you can help repair up the rocket this turn and next. Tank hits tank, tank hits anti-air, tank hits tank. Resupplies the battlecopter, probably because it's low on fuel. Does put it next to some anti-airs. The 2 anti-airs should be able to take out the battlecopter, no problem. Neo tank, double tank. Wait. Oh, she must. I didn't may have not paid too close attention, but it looks like she may have saved some money because they're that big deployment. She may have skipped last turn and cheaped out on it. Power is now available for Kindle. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and artillery. Shells the tank there, takes out tank. Does take out the mech there. Another Urban Blight popped. Which does hit another anti-air here. Recon, medium tank, and infantry. Recon hits the infantry unit there. Rockets, of course, on top of the city, which means it can fire miniature nuclear warheads. Sack the 1 health medium tank on the regular tank there. Anti-air will be nuked. Ooh, that tank will be nuked. Neo tank is not currently revealed. A lot of artillery here by Drake. 3 artillery. 1 health tank does not take out the 1 health anti-air, so it must be close to 1% now. Rocket takes out the anti-air up here rather than the regular tank. Shells the tank there. Medium tank hits the anti-air. 1 health tank hits the 1 health tank. Again, no deaths. Neo tank takes out regular tank there. Regular tank hits artillery. Another Urban Blight pop. This is down to 3 health. Start capturing the HQ, which is simply good distraction for all the nearby infantry units there. Join captures. Artillery push way forward. I don't think Kindle's going to get the HQ capture. Tank, recon, and infantry. Kindle does end the turn with 125,000 on the field. So she has a pretty good advantage, about 2-turn advantage, though we do have almost another superpower available. Interrupts the capture, does not stop the capture, down to 4 capture progress, which is feasible for 1 health infantry unit. Will the 1 health tank take out the 1 health tank? Will the 1 health anti-air take out the 1 health tank? 1 health anti-air does not take out the 1 health artillery, so she Drake failed on that one. Does sack the tank there, hit the Neo tank to get the superpower. And now the anti-air, the stuff is at all 1% health, so now would have been a good idea to take that strike. Tank. Kindle's on the 88. Drake is at 91,000, so Kindle is doing quite well still. One health tank does take out that unit there. Recon does take out the tank. Rocket fired a miniature nuclear warhead against that tank there. Medium tank does finish off. And looks like this black belt's down to 6 health. And 4 fuel with 0 ammo. Battlecopter, tank, anti-air, and infantry. Does show both those units. Interrupts and does not stop that capture again. Down to 3 capture progress. Slowly but surely, you shall be disappointed. Neo tank, double infantry. Black boat sees nothing. Black boat could be shelled by 2 artillery. Artillery is, or rock's out of range of the artillery. Recon, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. You know, I usually don't see the black boats go down in most games, barring from lack of fuel. Artillery unit does fall back. Artillery does fall back, so the black boat will not be sunk to the bottom of the shore. In that 3 feet of shoreline. Infantry, battlecopter, artillery, and artillery. Drake has been going for a very good number of artillery this entire game. 5 artillery pieces. Artillery, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Try and flip that lab, which is still secured by Kindle. Tank hit here. And infantry. Sorry about that. And this prop is still despicably neutral. Kindle does have a 3,000 income lead as well. Recon, medium tank, and infantry. Both players do not have much power charge, a bit of a stalemate at the moment, but Kindle is going to start dictating the game by pushing forward in this region. Recon finds a recon. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, and infantry. Shells infantry unit there and does take it out. Takes the recon with the recon. Tank, infantry, recon. Battlecopter does strike the recon. Infantry gets struck. Tank does gets trapped on infantry unit there, which is nice for Drake. Try to flip a couple more properties there. Neo tank is on top of the HQ and no artillery shot. Kindle's trying to make her play. Anti-air, and infantry. Neo tank does take out the medium tank. Shells the medium tank. Takes out battlecopter. Looks like Kindle's taking some good losses this turn. Tank hits tank, tank hits tank, tank hits tank. Good possibility of good urban blights this turn. Shells the tank there, pops the power to soften up a Kindle. That is a good idea, and the fuel drain is important. High Society would probably be a good call this turn, but Kindle's lost so much this turn. What was she at the start of the turn? Like 100 and... It's like almost 200,000, right? Whoops. Take a button off the screen. High Society. She's currently at 20 properties, so plus 84% firepower bonus, with at least 10% of that being removed. That's a lot of firepower to say the least. Tank or... Actually, I'm not sure. A rocket took out that tank there. Recon hits infantry unit there, which could be a boost strike there. That might finish it off. Nope, just got a good amount of damage there. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Neo tank hits regular tank there. Medium tank gets an absurd firepower bonus. I'm guessing 220%. 230%. I was close. Big number. Shells the tank there. Battlecopter hits the regular tank there. Does not finish it off. Does not finish off the black boat. Oh, there's actually two black boats in the field, I just realized. Recon medium tank, regular tank. Shells the Neo tank. Hits the recon. Hits the regular tank there. Neo tank gets a good strike on the artillery. This Neo tank is trapped. Might be able to displace by this infantry unit there. But now there's two infantry units away. But nope, this recon can get a boost strike on this infantry unit there, which maybe will free it up. But I don't know if plus 4% firepower is going to be all that important. But against a 1-health infantry itself, I don't know. If it's plus 1% defense. Shells the Neo tank with the rocket. Does clear it up. That's quite important. Medium tank hits the Neo tank. Neo tank hits anti-air. Does finish off that tank there. Instead of 146, 138. And Drake is almost at another tsunami. Does strike the rocket. It has tsunami available. Gets a lot of good engagements there. Tank, tank, and tank. Beam tank hits regular tank. Does take out the battlecopter. Hits the regular tank there twice. Urban Blight can make this Neo tank down to 1%, but can't finish it off. Nor even spotted. Triple tank there, no Urban Blight. We do now have a Typhoon available. Summons English Weather. Puts Kindle down to 85,000. Kindle is taking severe losses. Her push up here did backfire quite spectacularly. Right now, Drake is more slotted to win, 156,000 versus 94 plus 17, so basically 110. So Drake is about turn and a half ahead. Going back to lead it. Tank hits tank. In range of artillery piece. The artillery gets hit by a Neo tank. Yep, it feels like it's going to be game over for Kindle. She has one high society available to her. She'll have to use high society tanks to take on the Neo tank, and that's her best case scenario. High society can be plopped in the field, and this tank's already gets shelled by an artillery piece. Pops an urban blight. Ooh, get a boost strike on the artillery piece, but the problem is that's a 7,000 unit, 1,000 unit, being sacked for a 6,000 unit. Gets shelled, gets taken down. She did strike this new tank with that urban blight. Double resupply from the black boats. Infantry and tank. And Kindle does resign there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As I mentioned beforehand, this will be my last replay tonight. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching.